What is going on, people of the internet? Hyper Chaotic here with a K, double R, and welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time visiting my channel and Khaotic's collection. Now, for those of you who have already seen the first video with the first category, go ahead and skip to this timestamp right here to get straight into the hub and die errors. For those of you new to me, hello, welcome. Let me give a proper introduction to Khaotic's collection, or if you want, you can start off with part 1, which I will have a link somewhere on screen or in the description down below, and you can always come right back and just skip ahead. But for those who want to continue on with this video, thank you. I really do hope you check part 1 out soon. It'll definitely be helpful to know that extra information, because that's another category of different errors. But anyways, this is Khaotic's collection, a series that I will only do on Wednesdays, because I do other stuff too on this channel, where I will look at any and all collectibles. And by any and all collectibles, I literally mean anything. And by anything, I mean anything that can be bought, sold, or traded as a collectible to collectors, as well as going over any information on said collectibles and what you should know or look for if you're going to personally collect yourself for personal hobby or financial investment. Now, we're going over a second category of coin errors in this video, because coins are where I started off with this idea. Eventually, a completely different collectible we will get into will be VHS tapes, and I'll explain why when that time comes, primarily because that's what I have in my inventory, but we'll get more into that when that day comes. But yeah, I have a lot of information on coins alone to go over, and I found a full list of coin errors, well, as full of a list I could find on Wikipedia. So I'm going over them category by category. Originally, I was just going to go through the whole full list in one go, but when I was doing the first category, I was noticing the video was already getting to 30 minutes. So I decided in the middle of that video to just end it right there and do a part 2 on the next category. So here we are. And now that you know what's up, let's move forward. This is the second category, hub and die errors. Hub and die errors. Mints use hubs bearing raised images similar to the images that appear on a coin to imprint indented images onto the ends of steel rods. Those rods become the dies which strike planchets, making them into coins. Hub and die errors can occur at the time dies are made, when the dies are installed into presses, and die deterioration during use. Modern coins are still released with hub and die errors, mainly because the defects are usually too small to be seen with the naked eye. A few exceptions exist, where the dies are used despite producing obvious flaws. The 1955 Lincoln cent is an example. Now, I definitely have a few 1950 pennies in my possession, but I have yet to really look for any 1955 pennies specifically, which I definitely need to do so. Also, I actually do have plenty of coins of these various errors in my possession, not necessarily only specifically from this category, but from the other 2 categories as well, which I will eventually go over. But right now, I'm still marking them in my notebook, as well as, of course, producing these videos going over said information on errors, which I want to complete these first before I actually look at the coins, for any of those, again, who are new to me. Fundamental die setting error. A fundamental die setting error occurs when the die is not set as the producers intended. For example, in April 2013, the Central Bank of Ireland issued a silver €10 commemorative coin in honor of James Joyce that misquoted a famous line from his masterwork, Ulysses, despite being warned on at least 2 occasions by the Department of Finance over difficulties with copyright and design. Okay, so here is the image of said €10 commemorative coin. And I'm actually going to go over the article that talks about it back when it was released. So this is an old article that was published by The Guardian. And by old, I mean it was released back in pretty much the same year that this coin was released. This article was published April 11th, 2013 on Thursday at 6:02 p.m. I'm assuming Eastern Standard Time. And the name of the article is "What a Blooming Mistake. Irish Coin Misquotes a Line from Ulysses." Now I'm going to go ahead and go into this article. For those who do not care to hear this article, go ahead and click the timestamp in the description. A silver €10 coin issued by Ireland's central bank to commemorate James Joyce's Ulysses misquotes a line from the modernist masterpiece. The new coin features a portrait of the author's face and a short quotation taken from the book's third chapter, into which an extra word has mistakenly been added. The coin was launched at a private event at Newman House, St. Stephen's Green, Joyce's alma mater, when he was a student at University College Dublin. I'm not sure if that's a typo. The central bank's governor, Patrick Onan, I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced, said the coin's design, combining portrait and concept in an original manner, reflects Joyce's standing as one of the leading figures in the modernist movement. By the way, I apologize if I mispronounce anything from this article. The quote comes from a scene when one of the two main characters, Stephen Dallas, is walking along Sandy Mount Strand in the writer's native Dublin. Again, apologize if I mispronounced that. Joyce wrote, "Ineluctable modality of the visible, at least that, if no more, thought through my eyes, signatures of all things I am here to read." I'm going to be honest with you, I have no idea what the fuck that means. However, on the €10 or £8.50 coin, the extra word that is inserted into the second sentence. So to repeat, the word "that" was the extra word that was inserted. In the part where it says "at least that, if no more," that is not supposed to be there. The word "that," THAT, that, it's not supposed to be there. The Central Bank of Ireland has limited the minting of the coin to a maximum of 10,000 units. It is on sale at the bank's Dame Street headquarters in central Dublin this week for €46. So obviously it's not on sale now. It was at the time it was released. You could probably still get them from collectors nowadays. I'm not sure how much they would go for. No one from the bank was available for comment. Every 16th June, the day on which Ulysses is set, Ireland and Joycean scholars around the world mark Bloomsday to pay homage to the novelist's masterwork. Fans often dress in Edwardian costume to conjure up the atmosphere of 1904 and follow Leopold Bloom and Stefan Dallas's journeys around Dublin. Next error: missing design elements. Missing mint marks, dates, and other design elements are not distinct errors, but rather are what the observer sees when viewing other error types. A design element that is missing from the die when it is made is a fundamental error. Missing design elements that occur because dies are tilted and do not strike the planchet face on are known as misaligned dies. A design element may be missing because foreign matter such as grease plugs the cavity into which the planchet's metal would normally flow under the striking pressure. This error is also known as a filled die. Filled, F-I-L-L-E-D. I feel like that's going to come out sounding like fail. No, filled, as in full. Filled die. And as a strike through. Although this does involve a die, it is typically thought of as a striking error. But is included here so as to provide a more complete list. Doubled die. A doubled die occurs when a die receives an additional misaligned impression from the hub. Overdate coins such as the 1941-1942 Mercury Dime and 1918 and 1917 Buffalo Nickel are also doubled dies. They are both listed in the CONECA files as Class 3 double dies. Class 3 means the die was hubbed with different quote-unquote designs, or hubs that had different dates. They are not repunched dates since the dates were punched into the hub. Now, maybe one day I'm going to go over these classes of double dies or other errors, assuming they do have other classes of errors when it comes to the CONECA files in the future. But real quickly, before I continue on with the error list, let's quickly go over what CONECA is. So for anybody who may have seen my first coin lingo video, in that very first video I went over the ANA, the American Numismatic Association. Now, although they're called the ANA, they're an international association. They study money and other forms of trade and currency all over the world. Probably have other, organizations or associations in other parts of the world, But CONECA is more of a national organization. Now, the CONECA Association does have its own website, which I'm going to read the beginning passage of their homepage article from before we continue on, just to give you a better understanding of what their specialties are. And if you want to visit the website yourself to read more about them or see their class listings, then I'll leave a link in the description down below for you guys to check out. And again, I'm only going to read the beginning passage, not the whole homepage passage, just the beginning passage. Welcome to the CONECA website. CONECA is a national numismatic organization devoted to the education of errors and variety coin collectors. CONECA focuses on many error and variety specialties, including double dies, repunched mint marks, multiple errors, clips, double strikes, off medals, and off centers, just to name a few. In addition to its website, CONECA publishes an educational journal, The Erroscope, which is printed and mailed to members bi-monthly. CONECA offers a lending library, examination, listing, and attribution services. It holds annual meetings at major conventions referred to as Errorama around the country. CONECA was formed through a merger of CONE and NECA in early 1983. To learn more about the fascinating history of the error hobby and the history of CONECA, we encourage you to visit those pages on our website. We thank everybody who has helped make CONECA the great success that it is today. So there you go, that's CONECA, and I'm probably going to be checking that website out in the future on the channel, but again, got a lot of stuff ahead of me that I got to take care of first before we eventually get to that. On to the next error. Die cracks, die breaks, and die chips. Dies can crack during use, producing jagged, raised lines on the surface of subsequently struck coins. In the U.S. coinage, many Morgan dollar coins show slight die cracks. Dies with cracks, especially those with cracks near the edge, sometimes break. The broken piece may be retained in position or fall away. Die cracks and retained die breaks can be difficult to distinguish. Retained die breaks across the coin's face from rim to rim, with the area to one side of the break being slightly higher than the other. Coin struck after the break falls away have a raised, rounded, unstruck area along the edge. These coins are known to collectors as cuds. Sometimes an area of a die will chip out of the center. These so-called die chips appear on subsequently struck coins as raised, rounded, unstruck areas called die chips. Next error. Die clash. Die clash. A die clash occurs when the obverse and reverse dies are damaged upon striking each other without a planchet between them. Due to the tremendous pressure used, parts of the image of one die may be impressed on the other. Planchets subsequently struck by the clashed dies receive the distorted image. A well-known example is the quote-unquote Bugs Bunny Franklin half dollar of 1955, where parts of the eagle's wing from the reverse gives Franklin the image of protruding teeth. So again, a die clash is just when the dies clash with each other, no planchet, they imprint each other's images on each other, and then when they go to struck the next coin, it has that distorted image. Next error. Mad clash. A mad clash occurs when an obverse and a reverse die strike each other while misaligned in relation to each other. Additional misaligned errors are discussed below. Next error. Punching errors. Now keep in mind, as I'm about to read into this passage, punching is not really much of a thing that happens at the mint nowadays, thanks to the development of technology, making it way easier to make coins today than it was back then. Anyways, on with this passage. Historically, some design elements near the outer perimeter of a die were added by punching because technology made it difficult to press both the central and perimeter design elements at the same time. Also, some dies were made without mint marks or dates to permit their use at different mints and in later years. A die technician added missing elements by positioning a punch, a small steel rod with a mirror image of a letter or number on it, and striking the punch with a hammer, pressing the image into the die. If the image is not strong enough, the technician will punch it a second time. Punches placed in a different position between strikes will produce a doubled image, which is called a repunch. Dual punches occur when punching is repeated in a second location. Sometimes technicians use a punch with the wrong or incorrectly sized letter or number. A well-known example of a small mint mark is a 1945 micro S mercury dime, when the mint used an old puncheon intended for Philippines coins. A much rarer example is the 1892 O micro O Barber half dollar, which may have come about from the brief use of a mint mark puncheon intended for the quarter. Exactly the same error occurred with the 1905 O Barber dime, although numerous examples are known of this mistake. Modern equipment virtually eliminates the need to design elements by punching. So again, as I said before, thanks to modern day technology, making coin dies is just much easier. Next error. Overdates and mint marks. In the past, Mints used dies until they broke. At the beginning of the year, mints punched a new date over the ode on dies that were in use. For 19th century coins, it is difficult to call an overdate an error as it resulted from intentional recycling of the die. An overmint mark occurs when a second mint mark is punched over an earlier mint mark following the transfer of a die from one mint to another. A well-known example is the 1900 Morgan silver dollar when reverse dies with CC below the eagle were sent from Carson City Mint to the New Orleans Mint, where they were given an O. A similar case occurred in 1938 when a reverse die for the Buffalo nickel was made for the San Francisco Mint, because that year only, the Denver Mint made these coins with a D punched over the S. Trails. Lines, called trails, transfer to coins from dies made using the modern high-pressure single pressing process. When images are impressed into dies using the process, the displaced metal moves out into fields, leaving visible lines on the dies. The dies themselves are called trail dies. Coins on which the lines appear are simply called trails. Trails were first noted on Lincoln Memorial steps found on the reverse of 1-cent coins minted from 1959 to 2008. The trails gave the steps the appearance of being wavy. The term wavy steps is still used to refer to trails found on the memorial steps, but the term trails is more commonly used to refer to lines found elsewhere. Next error. Mule. A coin struck using dies never intended for using together is called a mule. An example is a coin struck with dies designed for different coin denominations, or a coin struck with two dies that both lack a minting year on them, resulting in a dateless coin. So as you can see here, we got two examples of very similar coin. So first example, Great Britain dateless double obverse mule halfpenny, Edward the 7th, 1902 to 1910. Well circulated obverse. What looks like a mint error is actually a clever made up double-headed coin, just slightly underweight. And for the second example, the reverse of the same coin was also minted with an obverse die, but on a different flan. The two obverse parts were cleverly put together from two different coins. This manipulated coin was found in Australia, where it was a legal tender. It could have been used in the very popular Australian 2-up game in a fraudulent way. Interesting. I gotta read about that. So I've read that passage before when I first looked at this, but I have yet to really read up on that specific situation. This sounds interesting. Alright, people of the internet, we are on the final error for this category. But before I continue on, I just want to make sure to remind you guys to please leave a like if this video has been very informal for you. If not, leave a dislike and a comment telling me why. Any and all interaction is good interaction for my channel and the algorithm, and any and all criticism can help me get better. And if you do want to hear me go over the next future categories or any other sort of coin information, or look at coins, or go over any other collectibles in the future, make sure to subscribe to this channel and join me on Wednesdays, because Chaotic Collection will only be on Wednesdays. Maybe I might reconsider in the future, but for now, it's only going to be on Wednesdays, because I do other stuff too. This is not only a coin or collectibles channel. On with the error. Misaligned dies. Dies must be properly aligned in presses for coins to be struck correctly. Errors occur when dies are offset, tilted, or rotated. Offset errors occur when the hammer die is not centered over the anvil die, typically resulting in an off-centered obverse but centered reverse. Tilting errors occur when die surfaces are not parallel, producing coins that are thinner along one edge and sometimes causing missing design elements along the opposite edge because of insufficient pressure being exerted on that edge. Rotation errors occur when the images on the obverse and reverse dies are turned from the normal position, such as when the reverse image is at a right angle to the obverse. Alright people, if you want to hear me go over the next category from this article or any other coin or collectible information in the future, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And in a later video, I'm going to be going deeper into coin breaks and coin cracks and see if we can try to better extinguish them. Like go into better characteristic details to understand which one can we consider a die break versus a die crack. So hopefully by the time I get to work on the next video, it'll be ready by next Wednesday. If not, it'll be the following Wednesday after. And once again, I'm not only looking at coins, I'm going to be looking at other collectibles in the future. I'm just starting off with coins. Once I'm done with the coin information, I'm going to go into information about other collectibles in my inventory, such as VHS tapes. There are a lot of nostalgia collectors out there. And once again, collectibles and coins are not going to be the only thing on this channel. Do not expect this to be a coin channel. I'm not a coin tuber or a collectibles channel. I wouldn't mind being considered a collectibles tuber if that's the thing. I don't know if that's a thing. If it is, I wouldn't mind being considered one of those in the future. But you know, this is not the only thing that's going to be done on this channel. No, I'm not going to make a separate channel dedicated to just this. I'm already having too much work. Also remembering I already have a second channel just for no commentary gameplay. So you know, managing two channels is enough for me. And I'm going to get bored just doing one type of content on this channel. So I'm not directing any channels for anything specifically, with the exception of my Be Quiet channel. Again, for silent gameplay only, primarily for video game preservation. Just like I'm going through the preservation of these collectibles. But yeah, again, collectibles are not going to be the only thing on this channel. Gaming on Mondays and Fridays, reviewing smoke content on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you're younger and underage, you're not welcome. I'm sorry, it's age restricted. You're not supposed to be hearing about that. You're welcome to still watch the gaming videos. You're welcome to watch any Chaotic Collection videos. They're always going to be family friendly for the most part, with the exception when I drop a curse word or two. I'm still going to, express myself. And it may be any commentaries I do, depending on how old you are. But then again, I can't really age restrict anywhere under 18. So I guess I can't stop you there. But yeah, on Tuesdays and Thursdays is smoke content, and Wednesdays is dedicated to Chaotic's collection. There's not going to be a video every day. Only when I have a video ready are those the days where I'm going to upload that type of content. And again, the Tuesdays and Thursdays smoke content is the only one that's going to be age restricted. That's going to be the only mature content for the most part I do in this channel, not including, I guess, certain video games. But I mean, you already know how gaming is when it comes to online content. It's not typically really age restricted, no matter how violent or mature it may be. So again, if you're younger, by definition underage, Tuesdays and Thursdays are the only times you cannot join me on Hyper Chaotic. Unless I upload a commentary those days. That's the only exception, I guess. And in the future, since I'm still working on some episodes for the Dankale, which is the name of the series, reviewing smoke and smoke accessories, I'm still working on some episodes, so I might make an exception and maybe sometimes upload Chaotic Collection videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But for right now, I'm only considering it. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that yet. And even if I do that, their primary day is still going to be Wednesdays. Thanks for those sticking for the outro and the the self plugs. And hopefully you're interested in the other stuff I have to offer. If this is the only thing, if this is the only thing you're interested in, well then, I still appreciate it nonetheless. And I hope to see you next Wednesday, if I have a video ready. If not, the following Wednesday afterwards. I really do appreciate it to anybody who watched this far. Or if you already signed out, to anybody who may have, I know they're not going to hear this, but to those who did sign out by the outro, I appreciate you as well. To anybody liking and even disliking, because that's still interaction, I still appreciate it. Chaotic out. Have a good one. And good luck to finding your own earwig coins. Make sure you have a magnifying glass. They're very helpful. You can get one at like Family Dollar for like $8 to $10. And they're pretty good, trust me.